Even though it can feel like we are still in the depths of winter, there are quite a few veg seeds you can sow in February. The days are getting longer, and spring is just around the corner. This is the time of year I start to get excited, as the growing season slowly comes around again. Some crops you can start early indoors, if you have the right setup, grow lights, heated mats, etc. So no, I tell you that vegetables, which can be sown in February. Broad beans. These can be sown outdoors if your soil is workable. Workable here just means not frozen solid and not a big wet bot. Garlic. If your soil allows it, i.e., it's not frozen or turned into a pond, then you can plant garlic bulbs now. February and March are the latest months you will be able to plant garlic. So if you've not done it yet, then get on with it. Lettuce. If you want a nice early crop of lettuce, you can think about sowing it now. It will need a little protection. Something like a greenhouse or even a cold frame will be fine. If you have room, you can grow them to full maturity in a polytunnel or greenhouse. They won't complain. Onion. You can start sowing onions under cover now. Sow in trays and then move the out next month. I like to multi-sow my onions. That means I sow a few seeds per module, 4 or 5, and then grow that as a clump. If you don't fancy getting your onions going this early, you will be better off planting sets later in the year. Leek. The same instructions apply as with the onions above. Sow in module trays under cover and then move them outside next month. Tea. For me, it is still too cold to sow peas outside, although those of you further south may be able to get away with it. This doesn't mean I can't sow peas, though. I again sow them in a root trainer in the greenhouse and move them outside in March. Carrots. You can start to think about sowing carrots outdoors, if you have a protective cloaky or live in the south. Varieties like Amsterdam forcing are perfect for early sowings. Beetroot. Beetroot can be started in a greenhouse or even outdoors, if you live in a warmer part of the Isles. I like to start mine in a module tray in the greenhouse before planting out near the end of March. Spinach. Again, another hardy plant that can be started outdoors if you live in the south or in a greenhouse, if your conditions aren't that forgiving. Pepper. Pepper plants, spicy and sweet, take a long time to reach maturity. This means that when it comes to planting your peppers out, they are already large, developed plants, not young seedlings. So in a propagator and use a heated seed mat to give the best germination rates. You won't want to be moving these to the greenhouse until all risk of frost has passed. So make sure you have space to grow them indoors when they get larger. Tomatoes. If you want an earlier tomato crop than usual, you can begin to think about sowing your seeds in February. As long as you have a good spot to grow the seedlings, I grow mine under lights indoors. This helps me get a good start. One problem I can have growing in northern England is that an early frost in autumn can kill my tomatoes before I have finished harvesting. By starting a little earlier, I just extend my season by a few weeks, giving me more time to harvest.